This is my camera studio in a bag. You are absolutely gonna love this video, so stick around if you're interested in camera stuff. So the first thing is this bag is by this company Star Trek, and it's actually the same company that makes the battery that I'm gonna show you for my Osmo Pocket. So this first little pouch is where I have just some extra stuff. This is a wind muff for the mic. You see the mic that I'm using right here. This is the Hollyland Lark Mark II. It is connected to a magnet underneath my shirt, and so that is what this wind muff goes to. All right, and then I have a little USB-C cable just for charging stuff. I have this little guy, which is a micro SD card reader. I basically never use this just because you don't really need to now, but I have it as a backup. And then I have this little screw thing so that I can tighten stuff if I need to, which I'll show you why that's important in a second, although I don't use that very often either. And then we have a USB-C connector for the iPhone and the Hollyland Lark Mark II, which I'll show you that mic system in a second. And then we've got the lightning connection option. I basically don't use the lightning connection, but it is there if I ever want to, okay? It's just kind of like maybe an emergency situation somehow. Then in this side, we actually have two more little pouches right here that I don't use currently, but they are there, which is nice if you're someone that's thinking about getting this bag, which I love. And then we've got the Osmo Pocket 3. This thing is a game changer. It is my favorite camera, I think, of all time at this point, my most used. Then I've got the wide angle lens under there, and all of this sits really nicely together. I have a little battery pack. It's actually a pretty big battery pack, and it's the same company that makes the bag, actually. I didn't know that until I filmed this video, so that brand. And overall, I mean, it's pretty simple. It works well. The only con with this is plugging a USB-C into the back of this, like the microphone, doesn't actually work with the Osmo Pocket 3, which was kind of a bummer because if I plug the Hollyland Mark, the one that I'm wearing right here, into the back of this, then it will work. So I can show you what that looks like just really quickly since it's not the same system. What happens when I'm using this with the Osmo Pocket 3, if I want to use this little mic system, is I just have this little dongle plugged in the back like that, and then this whole thing goes here like this. So that would be the system, the way that I'm using it. And it fits pretty easily there, but the DJI Mic Mini is an awesome mic, and you might just want to go with that instead just for simplicity, because then you don't have to plug anything into your actual camera. All right, so that's what's going on with this little section here. Let me go ahead and zip that back up and then drop this guy back in. You will notice that I have these two little magnets right here. These are the magnets that are underneath my shirt. So you can see right here, this is just a black one, just sitting free. And there's magnets in this bag that hold this stuff together, so that's why that's working. And then this is a little sticky. And so I'm literally sticking one of these underneath my shirt onto my skin at pretty much all times. There's basically always a magnet there. So that's that. In this little pouch, I've just got some extra stickies. These are the Rycoat stickies that I'm using. So you can see them all right there, pretty straightforward. This whole thing sits right there. And then we go into this pouch. In this first little zipper pocket, I have the extra stickers for the Hollyland Lark Mark II, that little guy. You can just put these little stickers on there. And I basically don't ever use those, except for obviously the white one on there. And then these guys just sit there. Then in here, we have a couple more of those. And then I've got a backup battery door, which is kind of important for the 360 camera that I'm going to show you in a second. So you don't want to lose that, and that guy's just safely there. And then I have these little wind muffs, which actually go to the DJI Mic Mini. All right, so you'll see I have a little gray one and a little white one for the two different colors that are in there, which I'll show you that again in a second. And that brings me to these ND filters right here and the other little guys that are right there. So you can kind of see what's going on in that area of the bag. So right here, this is a macro lens for the Osmo Pocket 3. This is by KNF Concepts. Absolutely incredible little lens, really nice quality, and I'll maybe show some footage of that in the future. And then underneath that, we have this little guy, which is just a wide angle lens. So you can kind of see what you're getting there. It's a little bit nicer, I think, a little bigger and maybe a little wider than the one that comes with the Osmo Pocket, but not like significantly better that you would have to get that one. And then this is an anamorphic lens. I will basically never use this lens, but it's there. So just for artistic stuff if I want to. And lastly, I have these three little ND filters sitting in that little pocket right there. So these ones are, let's show you this very quickly. Let's turn that around. And you can see it's got ND 8, 32, and 128. And all you need to do to get to these is just slide it off. So that's what I do at least. and then you can just leave those together. So these are actually more backups, which is why I'm not worried about them being in that position, because, well, I have one more little pouch here that doesn't really hold anything, and then I have these guys. These are my main ND filters, the whole set here. So if we open this up, this is by Newer. You can see we've got a ton of options here. Just from that, you can see all the fun little colors. It's cool the way the ND filters and like polarizers make their different stuff. So this is just, I'm not going to run you through all of these, but we've got a polarizer in here. We've got ND filters plus polarizers together. You've got the variable stuff going on here. With that, this is a mist, or I think this is a mist. Which one is this one? This one is a LPR. Oh, so this is just going to add like a little blooming effect almost, and then this one is a diffusion one. So I don't really use those much. The NDs are going to be the main ones if I'm out and about, if I need them for like sun or stuff like that. But again, I honestly don't use these very much. They are only here as part of my entire kit in case I want to use them for something. So those guys go there. Polarizers are going to be the main thing for filming around water and stuff, or like reflections. You do have one more little pouch right here, and that brings us to this last little section, which is where the 360 camera lives. I absolutely love this camera. This is the microphone set that I am using. So this whole guy sits right there, and that's why I have two mics in here. This is the DJI Mic Mini. And then these little mics are the Hollyland, which I use, so that's what that is. This whole thing goes right there, and then a beautiful part of this is if I go into this last little zipper pouch right here, you will see, let me make sure that you guys can see this. In this little zipper pouch, I have this little guy, which is how all of the audio connects. And so there's a little door right here, and the backup door is the one I showed you earlier. That whole thing just pops off. This guy drops in right there. This whole thing goes right here. And that is the Hollyland Lark Mark II audio that I'm getting. So all of that is how I'm running around with the 360 camera that you see me running around with when I have like the little selfie stick or whatever. That's the setup, and it is amazing. And I use it all the time. I highly recommend that setup. So this guy just goes right there, closes back down, that guy comes out, and then we drop this mic back in here. And this mic is basically in this bag for that sole purpose. It is my favorite runaround mic for the 360 camera, so I just accept that I have to have two mics in here, and it all works, so it's fine. In this last little pouch, you can see I've got more magnets for the Hollyland, so I should always be fine with magnets. And this little necklace right here, you can see the necklace is just like this, so it just sits in there, and then you can hang it. And then I've got a couple of extra little wind muffs. These are the ones that I actually use for running around. So they're a little smaller than that one I showed you earlier. In fact, I'm actually gonna go ahead and move this one over to this side just so it's out of my way. Now, I might just shove it in the little thingy over there. Or maybe I can just put that right there. That's actually nice though. It'll make that easier. And then this little guy goes right there. So that completes, oh, one last thing. You do have these little guys right here. These are the mini magnets. These are little clip magnets that you can clip onto stuff, and then the Hollyland connects to those, which is fun. Oh, and then the DJI Mic Mini. I should have shown you that. I have the white one and the black one. I just bought the white one separately and then paired it with this so I could have the choice whenever I want to. And that's kind of what we have going on. So these are also awesome little mics, but I did find that the Hollyland seemed to do better with noise canceling. It's subjective, so I wouldn't stress about it too much. I think the Mic Minis are awesome. And then all of this fits into this little bag, and watch this, it's gonna blow your mind because I tested this, and that's how I ended up with this situation, is everything right here, an entire filming studio in this little bag. That's pretty incredible. So if you enjoyed this video, stick around for more. Let's rise with the tide, and I'll see you on the flip side.